welcome to the BoshNRoll channel. If you want to support my daily Eternal Magic offerings while getting amazing perks like the BoshNRoll Discord community, have me play your deck on the channel, or listen sideboard guides before tournaments, check out the Patreon or YouTube membership program. This channel is possible because of these amazing sponsors. Check them out, all their links are in the video description. As always, thanks for being here. Let's go play some Magic. Welcome back to the BoshNRoll channel. Today I'm playing Legacy, and at the request of Patreon subscriber Elijah, this is Surgical Extraction Mill. This is, of course, a mill deck, a deck that is popular in Modern, popular enough to be on the front page of Goldfish anyway. Even if it's not a tier 1 deck, it's something that you gotta respect, and I do run into it with some regularity when I'm in the Modern queues. The goal being, reduce your opponent's deck to 0 cards, with cards like Archive Trap. Target opponent mills 13. This is free if they've searched their library this turn. Josh's Hideous Laughter. Each opponent exiles cards from the top of their library until they've exiled mana value 20 or more. And in Legacy, that could be the whole deck. And then the Crabs, Hedron, and Ruin. Whenever you play a land, your opponent mills 3 cards. That's the core of the deck. And then a fun twist that Elijah has leaned into. Surgical Extraction is part of the Modern mill deck just anyway, because there's 2 reasons. One of them is there are cards that function out of the graveyard, and if you're fueling the graveyard, you have to respect that with your deck building. In Legacy, that's cards like Uro, or heaven forbid you're playing against Reanimator of some variety. You can't just enable their deck for them, so you got to play Surgical. But Elijah's leaned even farther and said that we should be targeting lands with Surgical Extraction, and this is that casual meme dream that every competitive player has at some point. This is a level up that a lot of folks have to face in their Magic growth. I've seen so many people with like 1 or 2 main deck Surgicals, and they're like, yeah, I just wasteland the Volcanic Island, then Delver can't play spells anymore. Got him. And while sometimes you can get a cheese win that way, most of the time it's not going to line up in a way that actually is conducive to winning on a larger scale. But Elijah has that covered where we can mill the lands, we can wasteland the lands, we could take the rest of the lands, and then Mind Funeral is a card that has been chosen to be included in this deck. 1 blue-black, target opponent reveals cards from the top of their library until 4 lands are revealed, and they put all the cards revealed this way into their graveyard. This is a package. Legacy decks are already known for their low land counts compared to other formats. Surgical Extraction knocks out all the Scalding Tarns, all the Volcanic Islands. Now that deck might only have 8 lands left in it. Mind Funeral, who knows? Now the deck only has 4 lands left in it, guaranteed, and who knows how many cards it takes in between. Kind of a build your own Tasha's Hideous Laughter, but backwards. This might be too cute, but it might be awesome also, and I'm in for it. That's what's going on here. This is Surgical Extraction Mill. Let's get it. I'm on the draw in round 1. I'm in for this opening hand. It's a double crabber. I could also Thoughtseize on one if I need to. I have Force of Will. It's a pretty disruptive hand. Okay, it looks like we're playing against that new Affinity deck with the Simulacrum Synthesizer. Oh, or not. This actually looks like the Bowmaster LED combo deck that's been popping up lately. Well, that's 4 Lion's Eye Diamonds. What's their payoff? Entomb. I'm actually going to force the Entomb, and oh, this is so embarrassing. I have to pitch a Ruin Crab to do it. I actively don't want to mill this deck now. Well, that's awkward. And I'm forcing the Entomb because they might be playing that stupid dragon that is like Echo of Eons, except it's not a spell. Jesus. This is so precarious. Ruin Crab is not optional. I guess I'll play it, though. Yeah, disappointing. Well, the good news is I'm a deck with Thoughtseize and Force of Will and 4 main deck Surgical Extractions, which probably lines up well against what they're doing. However, this is exactly the type of deck I was talking about. Maybe you don't want to just mill opponents randomly. Okay, what do we got here? Brainstorm. I could Brainstorm, decline my land drop. Let's see. I'm going to Brainstorm, actually. All right, well, I'm not declining a land drop. I can put back the Underground Sea and probably Wasteland, though I kind of want to respect Urza Saga. Or I could put back Misty Rainforest Wasteland play Underground Sea this turn so they only mill for 3 instead of 6. Then I can play Tasha's and shuffle next turn. Yeah, this is not optional, and it doesn't target. So it has to be the opponent. We didn't hit anything that they could cast out of the graveyard. So my plan here is mill them for 12, cast Tasha's, hope it's good for the deck. Academe, the Undercrypt, tapped. Okay, here we go. I'm just going to Tasha's their face off. Mill you for 3, mill you for 3, Echo Vian's Cabal Therapy, Orcish Bowmaster all present. Underground Sea, Lotus Pedagaliel's Will, Lava Spur Boots, Tasha's Hideous Laughter. If this is a Beseech the Mirror deck, I probably won't get the whole deck. Yeah, we're going to get echoed this turn, but I did exile a huge chunk of the deck. Academe's Awakening, Echo of Eons, and Beseech the Mirror all being in the deck is worth a lot of damage, or is worth a lot of mana value against Tasha's. Their Tendrils is out, though, but this is a deck that can Bowmaster pretty hard. And they're playing with 41 cards now, and the Tendrils is out. I don't know. We'll see. They do appear to have all their Bowmasters still in the... Oh, no, I got one Bowmaster, and I got one Echo. The guy's Will is still in there. All right, Echo. Force of Wills. Surgical. Saying there's a chance. Yeah, like, if that hand just had a Surgical in it, or my Brainstorm found one, that line is actually insane, because I shred their whole deck. I can take their Echoes or their Bowmasters, and with Tendrils in exile, the Bowmaster might be their only win con. Cabal Therapy just resolves. Hopefully they name Force of Will and not Surgical. They did. Unfortunately, Bowmaster enables Cabal Therapy like a boss. Urza Saga confirmed to be in the deck. It's right there. In case there was any doubt. Orcish Bowmaster, well, I'm going to Surgical Cabal Therapy in response, because this is just going to happen anyway. Entomb, okay. Cabal Therapy, they have an Echo left. They have 2 Echoes left. They can Entomb for an Echo and spin it, but at least the therapies are gone. I am going to lose my Crabs to the 7 damage, though. Bowmaster resolves. They're going face. With the 2 Echoes in their deck, they have exactly enough damage to kill me if they ignore the Crabs. If they hit both Echoes, and I don't hit Force, and yeah, they have exactly enough left in their deck to kill me through 0 disruption. Fingers crossed. Other Chrome Mox, yeah, they're just pitching all their stuff. Mox Opal, Entomb for Echo, and we're taking a spin here. And they will know if they have another Echo or not before they choose their targets. If they go face with the Echo triggers, I suspect that they can go again. I did draw Force. If they start killing my Crabs, I think that they don't have it. My deck's full of discard. They have plenty of mana. I'm just setting an auto yield to Bowmaster. Hopefully they'll think that means I have nothing. But they have so much discard. I don't have high hopes. Yep, Thoughtseize. They're going to get me for Xaxes here, it looks like. What a thrill ride. Maybe I'm just not supposed to play a Crab at all. Focus on Tasha's Hideous Laughter. Because I did this. Their deck was not functioning, and I milled them. If I just wait until I have access to a Surgical or a Force, I think I'm pretty safe there. Yeah, that might have been a spew. Right, putting in a bunch of cards. Nile Spellbomb. Any graveyard hate is good, because I am causing their graveyard to do stuff. Children's Edict, kind of bad. Archive Trap, awkwardly. They're not built on fetch lands. They are built on Entomb, though. They're also built on Orcish Bowmaster, which means I can't be without removal entirely. If I'm just not playing Archive Trap, what does the game look like? I have 1, 2, 3... Nope, I'm boarding out 2 of them. I have 1, 2 answers to an in-play Bowmaster, and then I have Thoughtseize and Force of Will to fight over Bowmaster. However, their deck's full of discard spells. They probably play 12 or more. Dress Down is a soft answer to Bowmaster, certainly not a good one. Definitely don't need Visions of Beyond. I'm bringing in another Drown in the Lock. That's actually useful. Yeah, I'll try it like this. I'm pretty thin on removal, and I just boarded out the most potent mill spell. But those were for reasons. Oh no. I would keep this with a black source. I don't think I can keep it as it is. I will keep this one. And bottom one of the fetch lands. Hadron Crab can target whoever I want. I'm not gonna cast the crab though. Hey, this is a deck with Dark Ritual and Orcish Bowmaster in it. I think I could have won that last game if I let the Echo, if I let the Entomb resolve and counter the first Echo, then they would have been out 3 Echoes instead of 2 when they started spinning. I was just playing around like a fringe card that sometimes blows you out. Okay, I think my plan is to brainstorm on their upkeep. On their upkeep, I could Force of Negation a Dark Ritual, which is how they could cast Bowmaster now. Okay, unfortunately, Thoughtseize is showing up off of that, but, I mean, you try to sequence in a way that plays around one thing and you play into a different thing. That's magic. Put back Underground Sea and Thoughtseize. Now I have double force if they try to go for it, and the Thoughtseize is hidden. Saga. Another LED. I'm not going to shuffle the Thoughtseize. And I am going to play a Hadron Crab. You can fetch for Underground Sea. I am going to mill them. I have to apply pressure somewhere. All right, yeah, and I milled 3 cards that weren't Echo. Good job, me. Thoughtseize. Beseech triple Bowmaster. Okay, good to know. So this Brainstorm in my hand is uncastable. I think I want their Thoughtseize. Brainstorm is permanently on Pitch to Force of Will duty. I'm going to let them have Bowmaster, and this game's going to get weird. I hope they miss on the Mana Source for Urza Saga. If they just hit a land drop here, it's going to be really hard. Okay, their main phasing of Bowmaster. I am going to force this one pitching Brainstorm, because that one lets them start pushing damage. More damage. Ooh, they thought they baited me, but they didn't. Cool. Alright, well, counter that Echo. Their hand is nothing now, and I have to beat 1 Bowmaster. Alright, about to get weird. Block the Bowmaster and settle into weird game. I love a Drown in the Lock. Flusterstorm's pretty good too, though. Alright, Urza Saga gets to search. They could even sack LED to make a construct. That might be worth doing. It looks like they're not doing that. Got another LED. They drew another Echo. Jesus freaking Christ. That was just their draw for the turn, and it even beats the Fluster. This is so horseshit. Well, I will at least make them... This doesn't even make them burn off the LED. I'll at least cast the spell that I have. Yeah, just spike in a 3-outer out of your deck. Just random draw. Sure, whatever. Good job. I'd play that deck too if I could draw like that. Grumble, 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 grumble. I'm just goofing. You put cards in your deck to draw them. Obviously, that was the best draw, but that doesn't make them a bad person for drawing it. All right, here we go. I get 7 cards, which is nice, but the Bowmaster is bad for me. And they are going after Crab, which makes sense because this Orc army is just going to blast me. This is going to be 9 in combat. And the 7 from the Echo is exactly enough to kill Crab plus lethal me. And I did not draw a Fatal Push. Exacxies. Incredible. All right, I'm done. They got me. All right, well, I may have messed up game 1 by not playing around the out of feeding them. Also, just like letting the Entomb resolve and then countering the Echo. Probably it cuts off an out in their deck. So there was a... I may have outsmarted myself by trying to play around a fringe card that hasn't seen play in a year. Yeah, that was probably... I threw game 1. I'm willing to call it a throw. Game 2, they just had my number. On to the next round. This video is sponsored by Moxfield.com, the easiest way to build Magic decks online. Moxfield supports over 30 formats, including Legacy and everything else you'll see on this channel. There's multiple customizations so you can interact with your deck how you want. Views such as text, grid, or stacks, and groupings like type, subtype, color, color identity, even artist. The site offers light mode, dark mode, and so much more. However you want to see your deck, Moxfield can provide it for you. Follow my Moxfield to keep up with the channel and what I'm playing in paper. I'll see you there. I'm playing against a Yorion strategy, which is hilarious that I'm a mill deck. I'm going to keep my hand. It does some stuff. They mulled to 6. Mulled to 6 on a Yorion deck. This is among the most cards you could reasonably play against in a constructed game. As a mill deck. The tech mull. I hope they beat me with 1 card in their deck. Hey, Windswept Teeth. This looks like Black-White Taxes. Mother of Runes, okay. I don't plan on killing any of your creatures, ever. Brainstorm, okay. I do like that card. I'll cast it. And put back Mystic Sanctuary, that sucks. And Underground Sea. I'm gonna mill them for 3 and Thoughtseize them. 3 lands in the graveyard. This Mind Funeral's getting better every second. Thoughtseize, Skyclave, Stoneforge, Thalia, Jitte. I believe I want Thalia here. I could force the Stoneforge. I could force whichever one. Yeah, whichever one of these they play, I force the other one. But Stoneforge is the one that actually like kills me. So I'll start by taking that. So my plan is draw my land, play my land, Tasha's or Mind Funeral, and then the next turn do the other one. And I'm going to force pitching Visions of Beyond. You could pitch Tasha's here, Mind Funeral them, and hope Visions is on to keep jamming, but I don't think that's better. Milia for 3. Caldra's gone. Okay. Death and Dex is a deck full of spicy one-ofs. I'm drawing Mystic Sanctuary next turn. They have Batterskull in their deck. Trying to think of the mana value. As far as decks go, Solitude, yeah, they have a lot of scary things. I'm going to Funeral their Mind. Just because I haven't cast the spell since it was standard legal. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I hit 5 cards. Perfect. Okay. Well, I am trying to keep them off lands, and they were going to draw 4 of them over the next 5 turns, but that's not like a real thing. The next card could still just be a land. Damn. Yeah, them getting Skyclave Apparition cuts off my engine. They were very close to just not really doing anything. Umezawa's Jitte is a real threat. Mystic Sanctuary is not even on to get back the Hideous Laughter. It's getting bad, team. Tasha. Eat their deck. Alright, that one was actually good. Hit 14 cards. And I think I hold the Mystic Sanctuary here. And now they're just hitting land drops. Yeah, I Mind Funeral them, milled 4 lands, and then their next 2 cards were lands anyway to curve out into removal spell plus Jitte. And the Jitte is going to apply so much damage here. Well, they are bashing with Mother of Runes, though, which could be a little reckless. Not that I want to draw one of my removal spells. I don't feel good about this. Alright, I'll play Wasteland. I think we're out of gas here. This is the problem with mill decks. You have to keep the cards flowing, and the choice to pitch Visions of Beyond, there's still not a graveyard with 20 cards in it, even on this turn. That would have been a pay 1, draw 1. Or Tasha's at least exiled 15 cards. 14 cards. Oh, we drew another spell. They tapped a bunch of mana, then changed their mind. And this deck has so many basic planes in it, the surgical Mind Funeral plan is just never going to work. In for another 3, could be 7 if they want to push it. Nope, didn't do the Jitte yet. Put Yorion in hand, sure, okay. I don't know what I'm looking for, but how about a good spell? Archive Trap, not a good spell, not anymore. And they have 10 damage in play, 11 actually. GG. Okay, that hurt. I want Brazen Borrower and Ensnaring Bridge. Children's Edict. I don't think I want to be Force of Willing this deck. Thoughtseize is like medium fine. Is Thoughtseize better than Children's Edict? Maybe. I mean, Thoughtseize can clear the way for Ensnaring Bridge. This is a deck with Skyclave Apparitions and Flicker Wisps and all that junk. Drown on the Lock actually seems insane here. Fatal Push good. This is a deck that Surgical Extraction doesn't matter against. We're never going to do the land thing here. Okay, if I go no forces, no surgicals, basically kind of a awkward Dimir control deck with Ensnaring Bridge in it, I'll take that. Dress Down could protect my Ensnaring Bridge in a mid-game situation where they're stuck behind it and top decking for Flicker Wisp or Skyclave. And Mind Funeral's really bad against them. And that's a Dress Down. Maybe this is too many Brazen Borrowers? Is that possible? Get the other Dress Down in? Okay. I'll do it like this. I will keep this hand. Double Archive Trap? I'm so ready. Underground Sea. I'm going to lead with Thoughtseize. They kept their hand for a reason. Flicker with Gaddock Teak, Cabal Therapy. Right, I'm going to take Swords to Plowshares. Gaddock Teak is spooky, but they're going to have to fetch to cast him. Prismatic Vista, fetch. We're online, team. Thoughtseize, come on. Why don't you just draw a bad card one time ever in your life? Archive Trap you multiple times, lose my crab, have no cards in hand against a 50-card deck that still has a game plan. Great. This is why mill isn't good in most formats, by the way, because it's just not actually a plan. The thing about it is that it doesn't do anything until it wins. That's the real problem with mill. Like all these cards in the graveyard, oh yeah, look at all that. Got them real good. Milled you for 26 for 0 mana, but they're still just playing Magic. Savannah still can't cast Teague here. Jesus! Are you serious? God damn it. Death and taxes, man. Just running hotter than the sun. Drawing all the cards that matter. Okay, I'm going to put back Brainstorm and Drown in the lock. And I'm going to play Crab. Now I'm hellbent. Now you can draw Thoughtseize, but that's not possible because you've already drawn the 2 in a row that you needed. Literally in a row, too, out of this 80-card deck. There's no chance on the earth they ever would have hit with this Cabal Therapy, but they didn't need to. Okay, Gaddock Teague has been cast. That basically doesn't do anything. Got Drown in the lock. I'm drawing Brainstorm next turn. Drown in the lock is the full Doomblade counterspell. Gaddock Teague is actually so bad that they might not even mind just sacking it to Cabal Therapy immediately. And they must think it's good, though, because they boarded it in, but it's not. Skyclave Apparition. All right, I'm going to drown that in the lock. Finally, we had something to line up correctly. But that was another perfect draw in a row. Literally, since seeing their hand, they drew Thoughtseize, Skyclave Apparition to line up with my card in hand, then creature in play. If they just drew those in a different order. Oh, yeah. All right. I found a fetch land, Milia, so I might as well fetch again. I'm definitely shuffling this stuff away, and they might draw a Plow. Or they're 100% to draw a Plow, because that's the card I don't want to see right now. Okay, F6. You can do whatever you want. 35 cards still in their deck. I've milled 42. They pass without a play. Lands do move the game forward. Responding to this with an opposition agent. Okay, you got me. Milled 2 Plows and a Caracas. And they're just going to beat me down here. There's no way I could get through 32 cards before they deal 13 damage in combat. They just have to attack 3 times. And if they play for Flicker Wisp, it cuts a turn off the clock. I will take my beats here. Play Flicker Wisp. Flicker their shadowy backstreet, get that sweet value. Fatal Push. That is a removal spell, kind of. So what I have to do here is Trump Block Opposition Agent, Fatal Push Flicker Wisp, and then draw Ensnaring Bridge, and then them Brick forever. Cabal Therapy on Drown in the Lock. Close. You almost got it. Stoneforge Mystic. Okay. I'm not even bothering to look at their graveyard. Is there a tutor left for this? I know I got the Batter Skull. There's Jitte. Jitte's in play now. Okay. Block Oppo. We go to 3. Fatal Push. I guess Flicker Wisp and Oppo are the same thing here, but Oppo stops some stuff that I do. I don't know. I just got to draw Ensnaring Bridge. There's no other option. Ensnaring Bridge. Brazen Borrower. Well, I'm not dead. Okay. Continue play. I can bounce whatever picks up the Jitte, then block the Flicker Wisp, get a redraw. Okay, they put the Jitte on the Flicker Wisp. Petty Theft, the Teague. Brazen Bee. Lock. Now we're in this super shitty spot where they can actually beat Ensnaring Bridge, because Jitte has 2 counters on it. You can go -1/-1, targeting Stoneforge Mystic, attack with Stoneforge Mystic, and then go +2/+2 with the other counter on the Stoneforge Mystic, and you can attack for 2 per turn through an Ensnaring Bridge. I'm actually just dead on board, if they know that interaction. Tasha's. Alright, we need to hit 28 cards here. Didn't happen. Alright, yeah. Alright. Okay, that matchup was probably bad anyway. It's kind of Ensnaring Bridge or bust. The Yorion deck full of high mana value cards and a million lands, but then also just the runner, perfect. Like if they just drew Skyclave Apparition first, then 2 Thoughtseizes after that, I'm at least doing something. Like I get to cast the Mind Funeral and the Crab that they took. And they did win with 15 cards left. If that Crab's in play a couple of turns and Mind Funeral happens, I don't know. Whatever, that's Magic. Next round. Welcome to TopDeck.gg, your community's home for everything competitive Magic has to offer. If you're hosting an event, playing for a huge prize, or advertising your events to thousands of players, we've got you covered. Using intuitive pairing software, playing Magic is a breeze. Players just have to sign up online, then scan the QR code in-store. Give competitors the gift of perfect information as their bracket updates in real time, The self-reporting software saves you time and leaves paper match slips in the past. Leave the heavy lifting to topdeck.gg so your community can relax and focus on playing Magic. I'm on the play in round 3 with a really weird hand. This is a disruptive legacy hand, Thoughtseize, Force Blue card, and Wasteland, but no actual mill. I think I keep this. I'll figure that out later, but we have proven twice now that legacy decks just doing what they want to do are going to beat us. And cool, we see lands is the enemy here. I do play a bunch of basics, but they do have double Wasteland, double Loam in their opening grip here. And they played Wooded Foothills instead of Wasteland. Did they just draw Exploration? Is this going to be the story of the league? Opponents just ripping the nuts at all times forever? It could happen. The good news is, though, if they settle into a Loam strategy, they could turn on my visions for me. If they don't know I'm a mill deck until it's too late. Also, Mind Funeral, LOFing-L against actual lands. Here's one of the Wastelands. Yep, I'll float blue. Just make you think about it. Not much to think about, but there it is. Mind Funeral, like I said, LOFing-L. I could just Wasteland this Taiga, try to waste some time. I will. Okay, sure. I'm not doing anything else here. Let's make this game take a little while. Time for the world's most embarrassing Mystic Sanctuary. Oh, nope, drew a Wasteland. Even better. Okay, cool. There's your Wasteland. They could waste my Wasteland here. I'm also going to waste my Wasteland. Got him. That'll show you. Yours fizzles. I win. Okay, Hedron Crab. All right, let's reveal what my deck is doing. Fetch the basic Crab. Mill you for 3. Yes, this enables your Loam, but you got to cast it anyway. Let's go. Oh, Field of the Dead is in here. I wonder if this is... I mean, Valakut Exploration is already kind of weird. Lands is generally green-white these days. So they're targeting Tranquil Thicket, Wasteland, Taiga. That's fine. This is not where I'm going to put a Force of Will. Fetch land that gets me basic black would be great. Surgical. Oh, or I could just take your Loams out of your deck. What does that do? Anything? Could take your Wastelands out of the deck. I know there's both a Loam and a Wasteland in the hand right now, so I get a card, an actual card. I think I actually want the Wastelands. Wasteland, Wasteland, Wasteland. Their hand is Loam, Grove, Thespian Stage. Screenshot this deck, see what's going on here. Force Sphere of Resistance, Tabernacle, Valakut Exploration, 1 Punishing Fire. Okay. Oh no, I missed the one in the graveyard. This Moto donkeyed it. God damn it, that was so bad. Now they can just Loam and waste me. Ouch. I might need to take a walk after this game. Just clear my head for the second half of this league because I'm clearly off of center from what's transpired so far. Okay. Urza Saga, very good card. Ruined Crab, number 2. Stay crabbing. Crab 2, the crabbining. Now I just need a land. Construct. Mox Diamond. Discarded Grove. There's the stage. Sphere of Resistance. I actually do need to force this. It makes the constructs bigger and makes it harder for me to play the game. Alright. Fetch land that gets black. Fetch land that gets black. Let's go. Wasteland. Alright. Mill you for a bunch. Tabernacle's in there. 16 cards. Wasteland's really good, though, because that means I'm not just going to get randomly clowned by some land. Really wish I had exiled the Wasteland from their graveyard, though. Because now they can just pick it up, waste my Sanctuary, and I'm way behind again. Shadow Spear, mostly fine. They're still playing lands from their hand. Equip Shadow Spear. This is 9. I go to 2. Alright, I mean, hurts, but this is the mill life. This Mind Funeral sucks so hard. Tasha's Hideous Laughter is probably really good against lands, and Mind Funeral is horrendous. Okay. Fetch land. Uncastable. Alright, I'm going to cast Visions for Beyond. Just the YOLO. Hope this works. Fetch land, fetch land, fetch land, fetch land. Give me a damn fetch land, please. Alright. Alright. It's going to be one of those days. Okay, against lands, Mind Funeral is incredibly embarrassing. Tasha's Hideous Laughter is great, though. Brazen Borrower and Dress Down are both great against Constructs and Merit Lage. Children's Edict is great against Merit Lage. Fatal Push, not that good in the matchup. I've already cut all the Mind Funerals. Those were free. Ensnaring Bridge could buy me some time. Nile Spellbomb. They are just a deck that uses their graveyard anyway. I don't think there's more that I want to cut, though. I could see Sheoldred's Edict. I could see turning Force of Will into Force of Negation in case I need to exile a Loam. Drown in the Lock. Just having a thing that is a removal spell sometimes, and sometimes something different sounds good. Here we go. I'm just going to leave it like this. Okay, now knowing that it's lands, can I keep a hand that does not really attack them? This hand has a basic. It has 2 basic islands. There's 1 swamp, 2 islands in the list. I could also just Thoughtseize them on 1. All right, I'm going to keep and cast Thoughtseize. Hand needs some help, but at least I know what the matchup is now. Take the Exploration. They have Loam and a bunch of lands that aren't that scary. Wooded Foothills. Fetching for Taiga and passing. Playing around Archive Trap, just fetching now. Brainstorm, fix this mess. There's a crab. I don't want Mystic Sanctuary. And I guess I can put this basic island back in the deck. I do want to shuffle. I am going to invest in crab. Yeah, they hesitated on the Brainstorm. I suspected they might have drawn Pyroblast, and it looks like they actually did. I'm going to force this. Crab's really important. Continuing the theme of decks without many spells in them drawing the perfect 1-mana spell after I Thoughtseize them. Look, there it is. There it is. That's the card I Thoughtseized. I am the Joker now. And there's Loam picking up Foothills. I could exile Loam, but I'm going to see a bunch of cards here. All right, Tasha's. That might solo the matchup. Fetch. Basic Swamp. Now I have a thing I could do. I could exile cards I'm specifically worried about, or I could hit the Life from the Loam, which is probably one of the highest mana value cards in their deck, and also is just pretty good to have out of there. Okay, let's see. 3, 6, 9, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. They got a bunch of Sphere of Resistance stuff. Yeah, they're good. Ooh, Endurance. A lot of Endurances. That card sucks for me. Their hand is bad right now, though. But they're going to draw an Endurance next turn, 1000%. Show me 3 exiled Endurances. We hit 0. Okay, cool. 0 Endurances hit in 25 cards. Just play a Dark Depths, get it over with. I know you have it. I know you drew it. Ghost Quarter, that's a liability. Versus Crab. Let's go. Zap you for some more. There's a Punishing Fire in there, and a known Grove of the Burnwell is in hand. Cool. Just cannot catch a break. Underground Sea, mill you again. Still haven't seen an Endurance. There's 1. There's 2 more in the 14 cards. They drew Ghost Quarter last turn. I am slowly working with Perfect Information. Valakut Exploration, okay. They still have 2 land drops. Uh-oh. Grove, exiled, Ancient Tomb. All right, that's a card out of your deck. Caracas, exiled, Valakut Exploration. That's another card out of your deck. All right, those other 2 Endurances are still down there. Okay, I gained life, but they did not bring back Grove. They're focusing on the other Valakut Exploration. If I can draw a Tasha's right now, I probably win. Otherwise, they're going to flip their deck and or Surgical targeting Endurance also is a lot here. All right, come on, deck. Good draw, good draw. Visions. Visions is for 15. Or, yeah, it's for 1 card. Will it ever be for more cards than that? Probably not. Yeah, I just have to cast this stupid card. Tasha's. Ay, ay, ay. Okay, I mean, this Visions of Beyond might just be terrible. Maybe that card shouldn't be in the deck. If that was Ponder, I just get 4 looks there, and there's no conditions attached to it. Yeah, I think Vision should probably just be Ponder. We're playing Legacy. You don't have to play shitty cantrips. Now they have... Maybe it's a risk, maybe it's not a risk at all. They could start flipping cards to Valakut Exploration. Every card that they flip could be Endurance, and every card that they miss on is a card that's not in their deck anymore. Here's Wooded Foothills. May or may not have a fetch target. They flipped Forest and Mox Diamond. That Forest might have been the last fetch target for that. They flipped Thespian Stage and Endurance. Yeah, all right, cool. Their deck is back into their deck now, which I'm still in the position where I have to cast Tasha's to win. But now they are much farther away from that being a thing. However, Valakut Exploration, getting rid of a bunch of cards every turn, is a big deal. Okay, Endurance, Punishing Fire. They didn't get back the Punishing Fire before bombing their own graveyard, which means Crab can stay crabbing. They could have also stacked the Exploration triggers, so the Stage and Forest were back in the deck, and they didn't do that. Come on, Tasha's. All right, mill you. Reb, Pyroblast, Blast Zone. So 3 answers to Crab just milled. I'll take that. But they are in this loop with 3 Endurances just going around and around. And my life total isn't exactly high. Valakut Exploration, pretty reliable to just deal 4 damage to me every turn. They didn't play a card. What card could they have that they wouldn't play? It's got to be Endurance. All right, I'll take it. And by take it, I mean I'll watch you flash it in, and I lose 2 life for no reason. Wastelanding your own Wooded Foothills. Yeah, they're just filling the deck with cards before they cast Endurance. And I have to block here. If they draw a land, I probably lose just to the Valakut Exploration. So I have to hope they brick, double block, then draw Tasha's, and hope that it's good enough. Yeah, it was very obvious they drew Endurance there. Maybe I'm just not supposed to Thoughtseize, but also, what else am I going to do against an Endurance? Okay, so I'm dead anyway if they drew a land. I guess they'd have to hit land into land. All right. But they'd have to play one of the lands out of the Valakut Exploration. So I'm actually at 1. Unless they hit a fetch land that can actually fetch. Yeah, Crop Rotation qualifies. Yeah, Crop Rotation gets Wasteland, Exiles, Blast Zone, Crop Rotation. Another Crop Rotation. They can Ghost Core to their own stuff. There is a basic forest still in there. Yeah, okay. I understand. You did it. Okay. I mean, that one I felt kind of competitive in. My Surgicals actually found good hits. Missing on the Endurances on that Tasha was tough. And every mill after that. The point of the game where they're drawing 4 cards a turn, 5 cards a turn, and 2 of the 10 cards in their deck are Endurance is just kind of a hard lock. But we did uncover an important deck building error. Visions of Beyond, while it is on theme and, I get it, it's cool to Ancestral Recall. This card is worse than Ponder in all situations except ones where you're already extremely deep into winning the game. And we have found that Mill versus the Legacy format is rarely winning the game, but it does need big bangers to hit with. This should just be Ponder. Easy change. The NYSE Open is a prestigious, long-running vintage tournament based out of New York City. It's returning again this summer, June 22nd, 2024 in Plainview, New York. This 15 proxy event has a $500 entry. That's a lot of money, but what are we playing for? First place gets a Black Lotus. 2nd through 8th place get Time Twister, Time Walk, and all 5 Moxen. At 115 players, a playset of Bazaar Baghdad is added to the prize pool. At 135, 4 Mishra's Workshops. At 155, 4 foil Gaia's Cradle. This prize pool is better than Eternal Weekend. If you think it's worth playing for, sign up for the event on melee.gg or use the link in the video description, and I will definitely see you there. I'm on the draw in round 4. I've taken a small break to recenter myself after these stern kickings, and I'm going to mulligan this hand that doesn't do anything. Okay, here we go. Mill hand. Keep this, and sending land versus sending vision is actually interesting because a double crab fetch land hand could actually get to the 20. I'm going to bottom a land. Tropical Island. I'm just going to run Ruin Crab out here. Brainstorm. Look at my opponent's avatar. This is a crazy thing. This isn't even like a magic object. I don't even know what this is. It says MKM Promo 1. That looks weird and bad. No offense to my opponent. I don't like that at all. Put a magic card there. This is Magic Online, not Shapes Online. Ouch. Okay, Bant Control is the name of the game. Hedron Crab. Fetch land. Zapia. Show me that arrow. Just put it in there. We all know what's happening. Cycling Lorien revealed in response. I am going to fetch here for Underground Sea. Mill them again in response. Then I'm going to Brainstorm because this is a chance that I might spike a Archive Trap, which I didn't do. And the only land in their graveyard is Plains. I guess Flooded Strand is there. Yeah, that's not going to work how I want. I'm going to put back Visions number 2 and Brainstorm. Xander's Lounge. Leyline Binding. Okay. I can exile their Leyline Bindings in the draw step. They currently only have 3 types. Extract Leyline Binding. If they're worried about Xander's Lounge here, that makes me think they want Domain, and that this is somewhere that I can squeeze. Also, getting all these 6-drops out of the deck before I start heinously laughing. Force pitching Dress Down. Okay, they do care about this. Uro, okay. There's that boy. And I have fueled it, but they did just force. Okay. Stop. Delta. Milieu. 14. Terminus and Leyline Binding are both in this deck. Do I even want to try to Hideous Laughter here, or should I Brainstorm? I guess I want a Laughter, and then I can Brainstorm next turn. All right, Tasha, get your 4 cards or whatever you're going to get out of them. Yeah, not that many. A bunch of lands, Loam, but Terminus Leyline Binding put a stop to that. They got 2 cards in hand. Uro actually actively turns off Visions of Beyond. What an embarrassing card. I wish this was Ponder so bad. Here's the Uro. And I'm going to go to my turn and hope that my cards are good. Wasteland, a little late to the party. I'm going to start with Brainstorm. If I can find another Crab, at least, that could be interesting. Did find another Crab. So Thoughtseize you, puts you to 12 cards. Land drop, mill 6. I can't make Force of Will happen this turn anyway. Yeah, I'm going to put back Visions and Force with Visions on top. Thoughtseize. Teferi, Force up the Beanstalk. I don't think I care about Teferi. Actively like Beanstalk being around. I'm going to take the Force of Will. And then Crab and zap them for a bunch. Get you for 6. The Wasteland puts you to 19 cards in your graveyard. They've got 2 white sources, 2 green sources. Can't waste them off anything important here. I could waste them off double green in case they play a second Uro, but why would they ever do that? Can't take them off red-white if they draw 4th Aerlingus. I think I'm just going to pass, actually. Yeah, Uro has to draw a card to attack. You can't decline that, which may or may not come up here and be important. I guess Wasteland takes them off double spelling. I will waste the Savannah here. Maybe I should have done that before the attack. Now they might Solitude me or some shit. God damn it. This is exactly what's happening. Oh my god, I acknowledged it after it happened, spoken into existence. Oh no. And they have 19 cards in their deck, and I'm drawing this stupid cantrip. Do I think they're even going to put a card in their graveyard? And my next card's Force of Will. I'm doing nothing for 2 turns. 1 card short. Would love to Ponder here. All right, I guess maybe they'll play a Ponder or something. It doesn't matter. I'm dead. Yeah, Solitude. Just literally Solitude. It was the unknown card in their hand, and I was like, well, maybe. What if it's Solitude? And then, of course. Okay, Nile Spellbomb's coming in. Fatal Push is not going to be in. And I mostly think we're set up for the matchup. Just a little extra graveyard hate's nice. Soldier's Edicts and Drown in the Locks can help fight the Uros. I need the Surgicals. I think I'm going to go to Force and just focus on jamming spells on them. I'll tell you from the control side, I would be extremely nervous against a mill deck, but from the mill side, we actually have to make our cards work. But it's definitely one of those days where I'm just getting hard punished by every small decision that gets made incorrectly. I am going to keep the hand. I like the Crab, but I'm not going to play it out. I'm going to play Island and pass. This deck's not going to have discard, but they are going to have a ton of removal. And I'm just going to play Crab and then a fetch land here. Crab. You might Force of Will this. They did not. Crab ya. And fetch to Crab ya. Okay, hit a bunch of spells that are not Uro. Good job. Savannah, they have Domain. They haven't done anything yet with that mana. They might be waiting until my upkeep to plow in case I have a big spell Pierce. At least make me spend mana on my own turn. Dress Down. Okay, yeah, that works. That will save you 2 cards. Oh. Wasteland, take out Savannah. White mana is really important. Now they're off Domain. I think that's better than just shoving a mill spell there. Flooded Strand. Them playing Dress Down instead of any other card they could play there just makes me feel like they're stumbling a little. Pyroblast. I'm not going to fight that. I feel like these Laughters and Funerals are going to be better. I'm going to Laughter. This is another high land count deck, though. I exiled 9 cards off of Atasha's. Not only high land count, high mana value. Because Beanstalk decks, naturally, they have to play 5+ drops to trigger the Beanstalk. Makes perfect sense. There's only 1 Beanstalk left in their deck at this point, if they even still had all 4 in after board, which I'm not even sure you do here. If they shove Teferi, it's just going to resolve. I'm not going to pitch Mind Funeral to fight over Teferi. I'll just play the game at sorcery speed. Oh, God. Well, yeah, I don't think I'm beating the Monarch just by making them lose cards from their deck, by drawing them and doing everything they want to do. That doesn't sound like a reasonable path forward. Grab you. Still haven't seen an Uro. Keep fading that one. Mystic Sanctuary. Are they going to get their Lingus back? They are. Okay. Well, they have to draw it this turn or else I just mill it. Come on, good spell. Leyline Binding. All right. Well, come on, mill spell. Clear this Lingus. Sick. All right. Well, I can play around Fluster and Spell Pierce by playing my land out first, even though that gives away that I'm now hellbent. Cool. We're dead. Yeah, we don't have to keep playing this. This sucks. On to the final round. Getting absolutely smeared here. The official BoshNRoll Island Ponder Keep shirt is available exclusively through Coalesce Apparel. This Magic player-owned business is a staple of our community. They keep this channel on the air, and it's my pleasure to partner with them for this product. Coalesce is the best Magic apparel on the market. They have awesome new designs coming out all the time. Use code BoshNRoll to get 10% off your order, only at coalesceapparel.shop. Okay, gamers. On the draw for the final round. I'm going to keep this Thoughtseize Force of Will hand that also has my 2 best mill spells. If this doesn't do it, nothing will. Literally haven't won a game yet. All right, Leyline of the Guild Pact. That's what they're doing over there. That's a little awkward, because even if they have a fetch land, they don't have to fetch with it here, because it's already every color. No fetch land. Ponder. Resolves. You got it. I'm jealous that Ponder's there. I wish I had Ponder. It did not shuffle. A Swamp Thoughtseize. I like leading on the Swamp, because this even looks like I'm a combo deck or a Black Stompy deck. They'll never expect that I'm mill, but they might be actually surprised by the Force of Will, too. Force pitching Ponder. Force you back. I'm trying to think of what deck I look like here. I look like maybe Echo Storm, maybe Doomsday. Ooh, yeah, I would have forced that too. Okay. Their hand is Scion of Draco and no other cards. Misty Rainforest. Hopefully they have to clear some bad cards off Ponder and they actually do fetch here. Another Thoughtseize. They have 1 unknown in hand, and it's the second card down from their Ponder. I think they would have kept anything that's not a land. I mean, that qualifies. Okay, their hand is Bayou, and at least I have the answer to this thing in my hand, as long as they don't draw another Scion, which is 100% locked to happen based on how things have gone so far in this league. And they just chose to draw the 3rd Ponder card, too. Just the Ponder was all 3 cards that they wanted. All right, it's another Ponder. Please be incentivized to fetch. Let me archive grab you. That's all I want to do. Ponder did not shuffle again. And they didn't play a card. That's deeply suspicious. Wasteland. I don't know where the best use of that is. Because their lands are every color. I'm only taking them off raw land count, not actual spells. I could waste the Misty Rainforest and incentivize them to fetch, but that's only 13 cards. They'll probably play some 3-drop I forgot about here. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Broadside Bombardiers. I'll archive trap them in response. Just let them know what I'm about. Surprise. Should have wastelanded. Okay, there goes a bunch of cards. I'm taking 3 here. They could make it 5 if they want to sack their creature. Don't know why they do that, though. They have multiple 12 drops in the deck, so Tasha's is going to be bad if I can even ever cast it. Underground Sea. All right, well, let's cast Tasha's. And it hit 2 Scion of Dracos, and that was that. Okay, I'll wasteland them. Better late than never, I guess, but my spells cost 3 in my deck, and I wish I had done it last turn, but I wasn't sure if I would draw a land and if I'd be able to cast a spell. Because if I waste them, then draw Mind Funeral, and they didn't have a 3-drop in their hand, I'm just like, stupid for a variety of reasons. Got punished by exactly a 3-drop, but, you know, that's Magic. All right. Mind Funeral? Oh, we did it. All right. How about actually freaking work? How about it? What do you think? This has to be a pretty low land count deck, relatively. A bunch of them are gone already. Funeral. Funeral. Look at this. I got 11 cards. Okay. There they go. All right. Mind Funeral, you had your moment in the sun. And if they can find a way to deal 1 more damage to me next turn, they win. Another Beanstalk. That doesn't deal 1 more damage to me yet. Okay. Mind Funeral or Tasha's could both do it. The Visions of Beyond is actually on here for the first time in Magic's history. They are putting me to 1. And big hitter, 3-drop, 3-drop, 3-drop. Oh, Visions. We're doing it. We're doing it. Land 3-drop. Land 3-drop. Okay, Brainstorm. I'm basically out of outs here. Yep, can't fetch because they put me to 1 and we're dead. Okay, I probably do much better that game if I wasteland them and I'm not under the broadside pressure, but couldn't have known that was a card in their deck at the time. Fatal Push, Thoughtseize. I like Ensnaring Bridge. That's very clearly good. I mean, Brazen Borrower is good against Leyline Binding and Leyline of the Guild Pact. Children's Edict is good against creatures that have hexproof. I feel like Thoughtseize is a mistake here. Okay, so for Thoughtseize, the bridges are locks. They're coming in. Tasha's Hideous Laughter is pretty bad against the deck with Scion of Draco and Beanstalk in it, but I can't afford to cut it. I could cut Forces and just play to the board. If I do that, that actually gives me a huge spread of things to do. I could even add a Dress Down or a Drown in the Lock to the mix. I think I'd rather keep a Thoughtseize in than do all that. Okay, I'll try this. Can we win a game? 1 game this league, please. All right, keep. This hand is pretty good at what it is. They do have the Leyline to start, which means they don't have to fetch if they don't want to. Also means they can Leyline Binding on turn 1. I have multiple crabs, though, so there's no sequencing game to play here. I hope they just ponder on turn 1. Flooded Strand. Oh, the fetch. They're playing around Wasteland on their fetch land here, and they do have Leyline Binding. Miserable stuff. Well, trap you. 4 cards left over there. That's a bunch of stuff in the graveyard. That's a Scion gone. And I am actually getting them to 20 cards in the graveyard this turn if my crab resolves. Crab? Question mark? A Misty Rainforest gets you for 3. Fetch gets you for 3. And I'm going to Visions right now while the getting's good. Okay. It took us 5 matches, but we've at least seen Visions draw some cards. Surgical. Wow. Okay. Stop in their draw step. I could extract their Dracos. I think I like that. Yeah, I'm going to extract Scion of Draco in their draw step. This makes Hideous Laughter better. It removes the best threat from their deck. Okay, Force of Negation, Lavinia up the Beanstalk. All right, a bunch of Garbo. Do they have any super tech? Veil of Summer, just be vaguely aware of that. I don't see any endurances, nothing like that. Okay. Scions are out. Lavinia just dies to Fatal Push, that's fine. Oh my goodness. All right, well, I don't want to speak too soon, team, but this actually does look like a game we could conceivably win. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Let's do another round of those. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Fatal Push. I know they can't counter it right now. Not that I'm actually worried about Lavinia here, but just them having less going on. Sounds good to me. Got another fetch land lined up. Put them to 10 cards in deck. If they cast this Beanstalk, that'll be kind of a liability. They might just have to leave up Force of Negation. Nope. All right, they're here to draw cards and party. I respect it. Brainstorm, still drawing cards. They've already made their land drop, so they can only cast free spells from here. My crabs will clear their Brainstorm cards for them. I've drawn lots of lands, which luckily is mostly okay because of the double crab, but lack of spells here has been disappointing. if I had not fetched Basic Swamp last turn, I fetched it just because it was there, basically. Oh, we won a game! But it also turned off Mystic Sanctuary that turn. Okay, we actually won a game. Did not get full reverse swept. Now we are fending off a reverse trophy. Another achievement to unlock here. I wonder if Force of Will is better than Thoughtseize on the draw. And I'm only going to have one of either. Neither one is particularly thrilling. Maybe Drown in the Lock is better than either. As I feel like Ensnaring Bridge is going to be my best tool no matter what. Okay, I'm going for it like this. Drown in the Lock's in. Oh, this is so slow. Maybe I have to rely on Brainstorm. Opponent kept 7. I will keep Leyline, Misty. All right, that makes Wasteland really awkward. I do have 2 Edicts in my hand, though. I like that. Basic Island, just set up for whatever they want to do, representing Orcish Bowmaster here. Okay, I don't want to... All right, what I'm going to do is just pass the turn. If they Bowmaster, I'll Brainstorm in response and get the full fetch value. If they just want to play Draw Go against this deck, I like that game plan a lot for me. B-Storm over the top of this thing. Wow, that's a lot of removal. I'm going to put back one of the 3 Edicts and one of the Fatal Pushes. And then I'm going to fetch for an Underground Sea. And I'm just going to push this thing. Right, meow. They had a Force of Will for that. Okay. Force pitching Brainstorm. Orcish Bowmaster is like fine, but it's not huge against my plan. Xander's Lounge entering tapped. Another one. Okay. Alright, well, I'm not casting this Brainstorm in my hand, that's for sure. I could Wasteland and Surgical the Misty Rainforest here, which is kind of, you know, at least allegedly one of the things the deck's supposed to do. Haven't really seen it happen yet. But if I Wasteland then Mind Funeral's off, I think I'd rather just cast Mind Funeral and go to the races here. We got 10 cards. Force, Veil, Ponder, Bowmaster, Leyline. Yeah, I don't think there's anything worth surgicaling in that pile. Those aren't the cards I'm worried about, at least not yet. Maybe if I have a big spell coming later, I could surgical a Force, make sure they don't have one, and then send my big spell. Ponder, okay. I would have randomly gotten a Ponder out of their hand if I extracted Ponder in the draw step, but that's not a good play. It just would have worked out, kinda. Did not shuffle Ponder. Lavinia, okay. Lavinia turns off Surgical on the Freezies. Yeah, I'm just not worried about it. And this is the problem with Surgical. This card is just not good. Misty Rainforest. Cracking a fetch here. If they get Mystic Sanctuary, it would have worked because I don't have Surgical up. They attack me for 4 this turn, 6 next turn. I get 3 more draws this turn? 2 more draws this turn. 2 more draws this turn. Or this game. 2 more draws this turn. That would kill me. The Bowmaster is too good. Okay, I can hard cast Surgical now, if that's something I want to do. Wasteland is completely irrelevant. Okay, Surgical Extraction. Target. There's 2 Forces, 2 Leylines left in the deck. Misty Rainforest is in play already. There's a Flooded Strand here. Yeah, I guess I'm going to try to go for Elijah's plan here of exiling lands that hopefully dilutes for Mind Funeral. And they do have the full 4 of those. How many lands are left in this deck? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There's only 6 lands left in this deck. Elijah, we might do it here. It's possible. I'm going to leave the Flooded Strand in the graveyard because they don't use their graveyard, and I do have stuff that does. All right. Funeral your mind. Yikes. Didn't take long to hit 4 lands there. They still have 26 cards in the deck. Okay, if I draw the next Mind Funeral, unless I just like miscounted, which is totally possible, that I just missed a clump of land somewhere. But next Mind Funeral looks pretty good. There's only 1 left though. Gonna have to be a Miracle Rip. A Ruin Crab. That can block. If I block a 2/2, Edict something else, I'm at 1. Alright, Ruin Crab, get in. I will pass the turn. Dead to a lot of stuff here. But this did buy me a turn. No, it didn't. Okay, I could Brainstorm and just die here. Go out on my own terms like a boss. Hell yeah. Alright. let's talk about this deck. That was a bloodbath, absolutely destroyed across the board. There were some kind of minor decisions that I could have made differently that may have resulted in slightly better chances, and I accept that anytime I play Magic. Opponents did run hotter than the sun in multiple spots. It was like Thoughtseize you, take a card, immediately draw that card, or something better. That did happen too. However, despite those two things, I think this deck just structurally does not work. I started this deck tech talking about how surgicling lands out of someone's deck is not a plan. And even though the Mind Funeral thing does make that slightly more tempting, Mind Funeral was awful. So we're talking about a Christmas land scenario where we archive trap them, hit their Tundra. They're a blue-white deck with 4 Tundras. Then we surgical extract them. And now Mind Funeral still has to work through the 3 other flooded strands, any number of basic islands or plains they have, any tech lands like Hall of Heliod or Wasteland or whatever. And I don't think Mind Funeral was ever close to as good as Tasha's Hideous Laughter. I don't think Mind Funeral was ever close to as good as Glimpse of the Unthinkable, which is a 2-drop. It was actually less reliable. We queued into lands, for goodness sakes. We hit 5 cards out of Death and Taxes with this 3-drop. I think that there are multiple levels of too cute going on here. I think trying to surgical lands out of a deck is too cute, and I think Mind Funeral is too cute of a card. And for your cute card to be contingent on a cute interaction already having occurred in the game, in a deck with barely any card advantage or selection, you're just asking too much out of a Legacy deck. Legacy Mill might be possible if we just go back to the drawing board, take the modern deck, just upgrade the dual lands, add Mystic Sanctuary, play the reliable mill spells like, I want to call it Sanity Grinding, but that's not what it is. Something of Sanity. The one that you could cycle to mill 4, or you could cast it to mill a bunch. That card, Glimpse the Unthinkable, max out on crabs. I only had room for 7 because I was trying to do all this other stuff in the deck. Deck probably still wants Surgical Extraction, but maybe 2 or 3, not 4. And Mind Funeral is just not a Legacy card. It is what it is. It might have been a harsh review, but it was a harsh league. I don't mind showcasing these because every brewer, everyone playing Magic at some point learns about Millstone or Glimpse the Unthinkable or Archive Trap or whatever it is. And every player gets excited by that. That's why Wizards keep printing them. And every competitive player eventually learns that that's not a real thing. There were games where, like that Death and Taxes matchup, we milled them for 60 and still lost. Didn't matter because they were a Yorion deck. They had that advantage built right in. That Storm deck, we stopped their win and then just enabled another one because the deck only does one thing. There was the graveyard is more of a resource than anything else the farther you get into Eternal formats. And Archive Trap, haha, mill you for 13, is actually more like, haha, you draw 2 in some cases. If they have like an Uro and a Cabal Therapy that mill over, or heaven forbid, Echo of Eons. Or if they have a Murktide Region in their hand that we just accelerated. I think we got to either mill a lot harder or mill a lot slower and build a blue-black control deck that has some sort of passive milling going on. But this one that is just sort of kind of milling and kind of hating the graveyard while also leaving room for like Thoughtseize, Fatal Push, Shoulder Edict, Drown in the Lock, Force of Will, just all these slots dedicated to kind of just normal cards. We got to fully commit to this, or we got to fully pivot into a much slower control deck that just happens to win with mill. We landed right in the middle of being as wrong as possible on all of it. That's where I'm going to leave this one. Tough league. Thanks everyone for sticking it out. Elijah, I do appreciate you sharing it. I do like showcasing this stuff. Not everyone has to be a winner. Thomas Edison Award for finding something that didn't work. Thank you all for watching. Be sure to like, comment, subscribe. Check out the Patreon. I'll see you next time.